All right, I have once again returned, as I always do. I think I should tackle this, even though very few of my subscribers are old enough or married enough to appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, just because I like the challenge of answering this myself without having rehearsed it at all. I made a video called Hair Loss Corporate Thrasher, How Do I Have Time to Make This Much Money? And that's one I shot here in the mean streets of Sacramento. Tomlin 80 IU, who looks great with the shaved head and beard, by the way, had this to say, quote, "Nick, I too make less money than my wife. I would love to hear your opinion on men who are not breadwinners," end quote. So yeah, I think that's very important because something I always talk about on my channel is what it means as part of a man's identity to be attractive to people, and not even just females, but to be attractive, to be envied, to be a model citizen that other people want to aspire to be. And I made a video too recently, how hair loss is a joke to me. I totally don't care about it. You know, this channel has almost become a parody to me, right? I'm like, oh, you're still watching these videos? More people subscribing every day? All right, I guess I better make more hair loss videos. But it's like my heart's not even in it anymore and people are still watching my videos, so it's really strange. But something I always remind everybody is, in your version of reality, hair loss has everything to do with your identity and people finding you attractive. In reality, people are judging you on much more superficial things, perhaps, than maybe a way to see it. I always say, you're not being judged on hair loss. You're being judged on your ability to make money and having a skill set to do that. You're being judged on being a confident person, a kind person, a leader. All those things you're being judged on. And making money is one of those. Here's what I'm gonna say, and I've always said this. It's not so much how much money you make, it's the fact that you are confident in your skill set and abilities and education to do something with that, to make as much money as you are able to make without having to sacrifice your family or your life and that sort of thing. With that disclaimer out of the way, I will say this. I make good money. And now that I got my new job, I'm making $18,000 more than I did before where I was at for 12 years. I make good money. And not to mention the money that I make on the side from this video channel. My other one's about to monetize. I'm at like 992 subscribers. Once I hit 1,000, then I'll be able to make money from that. But my 2 or 3 side jobs that I've got from my website. By the way, I'm scratching my foot. Let me show you. Yeah, when I was at Lake Tahoe, I got sunburned. Like, I'm dark enough in general, being sort of a Mediterranean mix that I am, that I don't get sunburned easily. But I was on Lake Tahoe on one of those paddle boats things, and it was like the whole lake was like a reflection, just like I was out there all day, and I finally got sunburned. So like, this is like 5 days later. I've been using aloe vera, but my feet got the most burned and they're itching. So now that we're all aware of what's going on below the camera, as I'm scratching my sunburned feet that are peeling, I think it's important to point out that I still make good money. But even aside from that, and this is where things are relative, my wife still makes more money than me. Now, again, I guess I'd say if you looked at my YouTube money, my blog money, all my stuff I do on the side, plus my job, there's a decent chance I make as much money as my wife does. But that's how much money my wife makes. She makes a lot of money. She has a master's degree, whereas I don't. And she makes a lot of money. So even with all my side hustles, at best, maybe I'm equal to her on that. But I think the fundamental thing we're looking at is, in general, when a man makes less money than a woman. Because I mean, this could even be for you if you're single. You may not even be married, but you are confident in what you do, but what you do doesn't make a whole lot of money. You couldn't afford the Jeep Wrangler that I want so badly, right? But at least you're secure in that, okay? And then you're dating this girl, man, she makes more money than you and a lot more money than you, kind of like my wife and I. And so what do you do about that? For me, it instantly reminds me of this. It instantly reminds me of the fact of, what if the girl is taller than you? I think this is a fundamental issue that I would bring up more if people cared about it, but I don't think people really comment enough about it to make it relevant for me to talk about it. But I say this like every 3 videos, but I'm 5'9", I'm not tall. I'm not specifically short, but I'm not tall. And, for me, it never bothered me as far as girls were concerned. As far as any girl I was attracted to, the kind of girlfriend I had in like early high school, late junior high, she was like always taller than me. And then there was this girl in college that she turned me down. But I at the time, like, man, I wanted to marry that girl. And she was the same as me. So either way, I had this thing where like, well, and my wife, she's like 5'6", I'm 5'9". So I mean, even my wife and I are kind of similar heights. It's not like I'm much taller than she is. But it's funny, maybe as I'm making this video, you're helping me realize that psychologically, I'm always about trying to find someone out of my league. And what's funny is July 5th makes 10 years that my wife and I have been married, but it's funny because I still feel she's out of my league in so many ways. And I think that was something always that I found attractive in a female, as someone that I thought that I, in some theory, didn't deserve. Like, she was better than I was, and that made it fun for me because I thought, if I could get that girl to fall in love with this guy, then I would be successful in that way. And I still feel that way. I mean, looking back, being married nearly 10 years now, I'm like, I really don't see how I could have done any better than what I already have. My wife is so beautiful. She's so intelligent. She makes a lot of money. And it's like, okay, I feel good about that. I can look back 10 years of marriage and think that was a good thing. I think that's how I'm wired, though. I think when it comes to who I'm going to be romantically involved with, I want someone who ultimately is better than me, because then I respect them in a way that if I felt, we're kind of on the same level. Because for me, I've said it many times, I identify as a 6. If we're looks wise, as a guy, I'll give myself, I'm a 6 out of 10. If I'm outside in the parking lot at work and the sun's beating down, I'm more like a 3. And if I'm, inside of a house in good lighting and my hair's longer, I may be a 7.5, maybe an 8. But the whole point was, I've always seen my wife as someone who was out of my league, better than me. And it wasn't this perfect match as far as even looks go, as far as ability to make money. In the end, it may all pay off and all my side hustles may trump everything else as far as all that goes. But I think ultimately, it's becoming quite normal now for females to make more money, than their husbands. And I think too, a lot of husbands are going to find that they're going to make more money by doing independent stuff, working from home. I think my experience is there's less money to be made in offices for guys, and there's more money for guys who work from home, who do stuff online like I do, but find a way to make a lot of money doing that. Which is why I'm so passionate about my 2 YouTube channels, my blog, and all the side jobs that come along with that. Because for me, I feel that that's the fast track to really going somewhere. The office job I have is great, it's amazing. But I'm almost like, is this too good to be true? How long is this gonna last? But I'm giving it my all until I learn anything otherwise. But I think, thanks to your comment, I've realized that about myself, that when it comes to who I've always been attracted to, I was always attracted to girls who I felt were a little bit intimidating. I never dated short girls, ever. I was never attracted to short girls. They had to be like almost as tall as me, or if not taller, before I was attracted to them. They had to be really smart and be really confident. Those were the girls I was always attracted to, and I can't even think of an exception to the rule, ever. So I think it says a lot really about who I am as a person. And perhaps any guys out there watching this video, maybe it's the same for you, that ultimately the fact that you ended up with someone who does make more money than you reflects your own personality and wiring, and that you are attracted to someone who you think is out of your league. But in another way too, maybe it's a way as a man to think, well, at least she doesn't love me for my money. And going back to the whole balding thing, at least she doesn't love me for my hair, because for me, a nightmare version of life would be to be married to someone, for me, say, July 5th, been married 10 years, to look back and think, she only married me because of my money and my good looks. See, I know I'm not going to think that, because I'm like, No, she makes more money than me, and I don't have a perfect situation for hair. Could be worse. But I think maybe that's why I'm wired that way. I want to know that, because for me, like, I don't, in real life, and I'm not trying to be weird, but in real life, I don't have a lot of like close friends that I'm around a lot. And I'm more of just an independent kind of person, and that's how, and I'm comfortable being that way. But I think for the people I do keep close to me in my life, they matter a whole lot to me. So my social circle may not be, as far as actual connections go, it may not be as big as other people, but I want to be able to trust the people I keep close to me. And I think, man, this is why it's great not to prepare for my videos, just to look at a comment and start talking, because I have learned so much about myself in this, and that what I saw in my wife from the very beginning was someone who was out of my league, intimidating to me, but I knew that if I could make her fall in love with me, that I knew that she'd love me for me. Like that Blessed Union of Souls song from when I was a senior in high school. Okay, I feel good about this. Thanks for leaving that comment.